vanilla.
You've got to come back with me!
Where? What the? Hello everyone, I'm Minifig1210, and welcome back to another episode of 7 Easy Mods. Today, we're taking another look at the 77256 DeLorean Time Machine from Back to the Future. Now last time I was able to fix up some of the major pitfalls in this set, from the figures to the missing gullwing doors. But it's kinda like the movies. Once you start part 1, you really gotta finish parts 2 and 3. So today, I'm gonna show you how to make the part 2 DeLorean look like it's actually flying, as well as how to do both the 1955 and 1885 train wheel versions of the part 3 DeLorean. And of course, all these mods will be compatible with the gullwing door mod from the last video, so you can build the ultimate DeLorean from any movie. But before we jump right into part 2, let's take a look at the hood. One thing that's slowly been bothering me since the last video is these 4 studs on the front. Now I like my Lego sets looking like they're made out of Lego, but these 4 studs really ruin the sleekness that's found on the real DeLorean. Fortunately, if you're willing to sacrifice a little stability, I've found a pretty easy mod that can get rid of these 2 back studs and make it look a lot cleaner. And to be clear, this is going to work best if you're doing a part 1 or part 2 version of the DeLorean, since for part 3, you're going to want to use those studs for some of the hood attachments. Now to start the mod, begin by removing these 2 cable sub-assemblies from the sides here and here. Then remove the front dark bluish gray grill assembly like this. Once you do that, you can remove both of these studs on the side assemblies here until the car looks like this with these blue studs exposed. Onto these, you can place 2 1x6 plates on top of each other like this. Next, you're going to clear off the hood from the ends of these 1x3s forward or until the set looks like this. The 1x3 rule also applies to unmodded versions of the set, but instead it's going to look like what you see here. Then place 2 1x4 tiles here and here, with the 4x4 tile from the set in this large gap here. Now if you didn't do the gullwing doors mod, you're just going to need an extra 1x4 to fill in an extra gap. This is clearly marked in the part list, which you can find in the description down below. Once you've done this, you can then reattach the front grille section along with the 2 cable builds onto the side like this. This time they're only going to be attached with 1 stud. And with that, the hood's smoothed off enough where the DeLorean actually looks sleek enough to fly, which is pretty unfortunate because Lego kind of botched this one. Sure, we got the Mr. Fusion and folded down wheels from the beginning of part 2, but even this new sleek hood can't stop the set from looking like it just ran out of gas and crashed. Fortunately, 2 simple mods can fix this right up. First, using 2 2x2 slope bricks and a 1x2 brick on top and clear,
we can use the same stand design from the 2013 model to create a simple and sturdy stand for the set.
Just attach each assembly here and here, and you'll get a slightly sloping forward hovering effect just like we see in the film. But without any thrust effects on the tires, this just looks like a floating car instead of a flying one. So what you're going to want to do is remove the DeLorean tire prints from each of the tires. Then replace it with a 2x2 rounded tile with hole in dark bluish gray. Then attach a 2x2 translucent orange inverted dish piece into the center like this. Now if you want a little more detail, you can also use this rare printed version of the tile, which kind of mimics the spokes from the DeLorean tire, kind of like we see in the movie. But with these new tires in place, I think we finally got the part 2 DeLorean that actually looks like the flying car of the future. But now that we've got the future taken care of, it's time to go back to the past with part 3. In part 3, the DeLorean has 3 major appearances: the 1955 white wall tire version, the 1885 train tracks version, neither of which are included in the set. Lego did include an Easter egg of the 3rd version of the set, which actually comes right out of the box. Now, regardless of which DeLorean you're making, the first thing any Part 3 DeLorean needs is the time circuit control chip dock made for the hood.
This is where the fun begins.
We would be honored if you would join us.
For this, start with a 4x4 plate in tan, followed by 4 medium nougat curved 2x1 slopes. Then attach a 1x2 jumper in light bluish gray here with a 2x2 dark bluish gray round plate next to it. After that, attach a 1x1 calculator tile here with a 1x1 trans orange round tile above it. Next to the tile, attach a 1x2 upwards clip piece in light bluish gray, followed by a dark bluish gray quarter round tile in the top row here. Next to this, place a black 1x1 pin holder tile, then off to the side, take a 1x1 bar stud with a 1x1 translucent open stud attached together like this. Now, take this assembly and attach it to the build here. After that, place 2 reddish brown pin holder pieces upside down into the 2x2 rounded plate like so, followed by a dark bluish gray 1x1 bar stud into the clip here. Once you've done that, attach a black droid arm to the black pin holder clip here and rotate it into place, after which you can attach a black bar stud and angle it like this. Finally, attach a black lever piece to the open stud here and fold it into place as well before attaching this whole build to the front of the car. Again, make sure you've left the hood unmodded for this. Moving on to the tires, for the 50s version of the car, I found the best way to replicate the white wall tires without getting a whole new tire piece is to use a 2x2 red rounded tile with a hole with a white T-saucer piece in the center. Now this does invert the colors, but I found this is the sleekest way to have both the white and the red without having a stud stick out like a tire spike, and with the available colors that we have for these parts. The saucer piece is also available in light bluish gray if you'd rather mimic the chrome center instead of the white walls. With these tires in place, I think we got a good version of the 50s DeLorean that we see at the beginning of part 3. That of course means there's one last option, the train wheels from the end of the movie. Start by removing the tires completely and snagging the tan pin axle pieces from each of them like this. Then remove these large dark bluish gray Technic bricks from the set completely so we can replace them with a new subassembly. Off to the side, start with a 2x6 plate in black, followed by 2 1x2 Technic bricks on either end. You're going to want to build 2 of these assemblies and attach them to the set here and here where the old Technic bricks were. Afterwards, fill them in with the tan Technic pin axle pieces from the original set, where you can then attach 4 of these train wheel pieces like so, and make sure that they're flush with the Technic axles.
And with that, I think we've nailed the train car look for the DeLorean at the end of part 3. Of course, if you want this to roll on actual tracks, you're just going to have to add an extra layer of plates here, which will raise up the DeLorean enough so that way it has enough clearance to run on any custom train tracks you want to build. Now, there is one last thing we need.
If you check the parts list, you'll find all the parts for the custom minifigures I've been using throughout this video, from the slightly customized designs from the part 2 minifigures to completely custom figures for the Old West Doc and Marty. I've even thrown in a few extra parts that I think might work even better than the ones I was able to get my hands on.
And if you want to see more mods, check out this video here where you can find an additional 3 all centered around that first movie, including the Gullwing doors. But with that, I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video and the mods, be sure to like and subscribe for more. And until I see you in the next one, keep on building.